Monogamy is selfish. Polygamy is selfless. Who benefits most from each situation? And what are the benefits? Let's talk about it on this episode of Two Jerks in a Pod.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I guess we're back for real this time, Debo. We've been MIA
It's been a while. It's been a
a long
while.
while. It's been a
We've
hiatus,
been,
literally. Our
we've been
podcast caught
concentrating
the
more on the
surviving.
pandemic.
Yeah, our podcast caught
Our
the V stuff,
podcast was on lockdown for a minute.
basically. But interestingly enough, we were having conversation and boom, this topic came up and we're like, shoot, we might as well just do a podcast. And lo and behold, we're back again. And this time around, we have a special guest with us. To my left, I'm not sure where our viewers could see. I'm not going to share any govy names, but we got our friend Frenchie in the building. Clap, 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 clap. Welcome to the Two Jerks in a Pod podcast. Thank you for joining.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. There we go.
Bon, ça va?
Don't open a can of worms. Don't open a can of worms because she respond now. Debo's gonna be stuttering. Okay,
I'm
so
done after that.
there you go. Come on, survive, and that's it. All right, have a great day. So Debo, what is the topic we got? Because I think you've been salivating at this topic for a while.
Yes, I have a lot of controversial, yet in my opinion, truthful. Because I had this conversation with a lovely lady the other day, and she actually happened to agree with everything that I was saying. So
Okay.
the gist of the idea is monogamy is selfish, and
So
polygamy.
for those, hold on, sorry to cut you off. So for those who don't know, judging by the title, obviously,
Go
we are
ahead.
talking about monogamy and how selfish we think it is, and we're gonna break it down. All right, proceed.
We're
Go
gonna
ahead.
break it down.
All right,
All
go
right.
ahead.
So the whole idea of monogamy is selfish, and polygamy is in fact selfless. And here's why. In the world, there are more women than men.
Facts.
So give every single woman in the world a man. There's going to be a whole bunch of women who are going to have to either become a lesbian, like Kevin Samuel says, get a dog and die alone, or they're going to have to go. They're going to have to become a sister wife. What other choice do they have?
That's fair.
I mean, if you break it down like that, you are technically right, because again, population, women outnumber men, and if all the men are taken, then that leaves some women without. What do you do in that case?
Just take your feelings out of it and what you know about monogamy and getting married to one person and being loyal to that one person. And just look at it logically. If you just hold that one man to yourself, you're effectively causing some other poor woman to never have a
Heartache. Yeah. Potentially, yes.
So,
And then
like
this
I said,
causes
selfish.
cheating. Yes, yeah. It causes other issues.
Now let's look at polygamy. A man that says, you know what, I'm going to be a polygamist. I understand that not every woman is going to be able to have a man. So in my heart of hearts, I'm going to take it upon myself to gather up all the resources that I can so I can take on the responsibility of making sure that at least one more woman does not have to die alone with the dog.
There's a lot of men who don't get that part though. If you want to be polygamous, you need to provide for both of them the same ways. So
Absolutely. Notice how I said gather up the resources to make sure that you are responsible enough to take on the task.
There's a lot
and
of
that's what she
men,
heard. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of selfish men that that don't get that part. And trust me, I've been into that situation. It was not polygamous, it was in a polyamorous situation. And the guy was just doing fuckery, he was doing whatever he wants.
Hold on. Let's backtrack right quick. What's the difference right there? You just said polyamory.
Polyamorous.
Polyamory versus.
Okay.
So they're both open relation type. So
all right.
Polygamous, it's a man with multiple women. Polyandry, it's a woman with multiple men. Polyamory, it's all the partners has different partners in the constant of all of them.
Gotcha. Education.
Okay,
all right.
Hold on 1 second. Say, Frenchie, what's the one where the woman has more than one man?
Polyandry.
Polyandry. That is the most selfish. That is the most selfish. And let me explain. Just like I said before, if every woman has a man, there's going to be a bunch of women who are without. So now, how dare you, as a woman, take more than one man?
You're hoarding all the remaining men.
You're hoarding all the resources.
If you're doing the polyandry aspect of it.
That could be bisexual woman who's taking both sides. If I'm having a girlfriend and a boyfriend, would you say I'm selfish as well?
No, that's even.
A boyfriend and a girlfriend? No, then that's no different than polygamy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's fair.
You're helping.
You're balancing the equation.
Exactly. You're making sure that another poor woman out there does not have to have a dog and die alone.
Okay, so you're saying that it's selfish just in matters of numbers in the population, not in terms of need.
Based on that. Based on that.
Yeah.
Okay, based on that, I have to agree. That's true. But other than numbers, I totally disagree with you.
And what would your disagreement be?
When it's in terms of needs and what people want, it's a whole different story. You can say it's selfish because the two men wants to provide to one person. They both decided to be committed to her.
Okay.
So it's on their own choice. She's not selfish. She just put it out there that she's open to love multiple person.
Here's the thing though. She might not know she might not think that what she's doing is selfish, but inherently it is. So let me give you an example. Let's say that there are only $5 left in the world. And I have all 5. It's a reach of an example, but it's an extreme example. But just I have there's $5 in the world. I take all 5. That's selfish on my part, even though I earned those $5 by whatever means.
So
for me to hoard those $5 just to myself would be selfish.
So let's say this then, in the polyandry relationship, is she usually, I'm not sure how it works, but would she be open to one of those men that she has to have other women? Or is it just no, it's just
that becomes polyamory.
Okay. So polyandry means they can't have nothing. Even if they want, they can't. They got to get out if they want something else.
No. In polyamory, you can have multiple partners as long as everybody consent to the other one.
Right, but polyandry is what I mean in terms of
it's like basically me being married to the both of you.
Correct. And then none of them, one of the other men that you have, they can't have another woman.
Committed to the three of us.
They could have another woman, but as soon as that happens, it is no longer polyandry, and then it becomes polyamory.
Right, because gotcha. But what if he's not committed? What if he just says, I just want something on the side?
Say polyamory.
Okay. All right.
Or he's being like selfish, he's just cheating. But like when you get to that,
is he really being selfish?
Is he really being selfish, or is he just helping out the population?
Well, he's helping if he's capable of communicating it, and then that becomes polyamory. If he's doing it on the side and the other two doesn't know, first it's not safe, and it's selfish.
Okay, I'll give you that.
And in order for it to be polyamory, she has to agree basically and say,
yeah.
All right. Okay. Now, I know within our community, it's taboo to be in said relationships or to even think about it. Have you guys come across like any, I guess, any people of the of our ethnic persuasion that have been in these relationships and that gave you some type of insight to how it was or how it works, or are
So
we
here's
all
the
just
thing.
kind of
It's only really taboo in Western cultures.
okay?
In like Eastern cultures, Africa, Middle East, it's quite common.
Facts.
It's quite common.
But I mean, if you were to come home and told your, you tell your parents, yo, I'm gonna have 3, 4 wives, are they gonna be happy? I mean, we're African. Think about it. You're
Well,
gonna have 3, 4 wives. What are they gonna
in
say?
my case, it's gonna be fine. My grandfather had 5 wives.
So there you
Dang.
go.
He was blessed.
There you go.
Debo, what about you though?
I don't think I think my parents would be like, yo, as long as you can take care of the situation, do you?
That's probably true.
But I think my parents would probably be offended because I'm a woman. It's more common for men to have multiple women than a woman being open about having multiple partners.
So let me ask you a question. What would your parents be more accepting of? You being in a polygamous relationship or a polyandrous? Polyandrous,
Polyandrous, I guess. Listen, we're learning something new today.
It depends on what side of my family. My mom, I know for sure, she does not care.
Okay.
As long as I'm happy, she's like, go for it. But on my dad's side, it's very new. So I don't even know the dynamic I have with my dad regarding relationship. He just assumed I was heterosexual. So I just run with it. Because my relationship with him is so new that I'm like, I'm not gonna go full on and say like, no, I'm bisexual, I'm polyamorous, I want multiple partners. Like I'm not gonna drop.
He's not ready for that. Yeah. He's not ready for that.
Fair enough.
But I know for sure with my mom, she's not gonna. She knows.
Now, this grandfather that had multiple wives, what side of the family was it?
On my dad's side.
Okay.
Was he a king? Just curious, because usually, like,
or a chieftain?
Yeah, or a chief or something.
It was better than that. He founded the army in Ivory Coast.
Oh, there you go.
So he's a war hero with some monument and stuff.
He should have had 20 wives.
Yeah.
He sold himself short with 5. He should have went for 20, man. Should have gone for 20. So that honestly, I find like in the African culture, the higher your stature, the more okay it is for you to have said relationship. If you're like poor, broke, whatever, no one's gonna expect you to have more than one wife.
Because you can provide for all of them.
That's exactly what it is. So saying that, so in the Eastern world or Eastern culture, it's more or less okay as long as you can provide. Now over here, it's still somewhat taboo, even though people partake in it, but I still find it's still taboo to kind of brag about it or to even openly say, yeah, I have multiple wives or multiple relationships. Why is that if we're so like open and free here with our what we're able to do, with our sexual orientations or whatnot? Why is that so taboo over here?
That's a good question. I think people are just not that open. They're so stuck into their own old ways.
Yeah.
Patriarchy is so influenced right here. And like in the US, you see, like if I'm talking with some of my friends in the US, it's more common. Black people are more drawn to the like open relation type of dynamic.
They're freaks over there, man. Yeah.
If I have certain conversation with my friends here, it would be like, yo, you crazy. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? But I'm gonna talk with my friends in the US and they're like, yeah, we're doing that every weekend. I'm like, oh, okay. Why am I here?
You're right, and they're so it's like nonchalant to them. It's casual, like I F 3-4 people at once last weekend. It's like, oh, so shit, so did I, and it's like cool. But I find to me it's confusing here because again we're so open about other things that technically we should be almost taboo about, but certain things are okay to be said publicly. But then when it comes to this, it's like, oh my gosh, you're being judged. even though it's okay with everybody involved. They make it seem like you're exploiting someone or you're taking advantage of another person. But at the end of the day, I think the people involved in these lifestyles are okay with it. They understand it, and I think it works for who they are, and they're happy with it. And it just confuses me why it's so taboo on this side of the world. But yeah, we indulge in other things that are more taboo.
Like what?
I mean, let's just say porn is out there openly. The sex market, the people are selling sex on a regular, openly everywhere. What else is there? You watch TV, you see everything that's on TV is just at times a little over the top. Yeah, so it's like subconsciously society plays into that lifestyle, but the moment you kind of embrace it and start doing it, it's you shouldn't be doing that, or you're this for doing that. It's like, why not just let it be? If we're allowed to be who we need to be, just let it be.
And
so here's my thing. Go ahead.
Finish what I just said, like, I'm just adding, like, it's worse actually for a woman. Like,
definitely.
A woman like me who's like sexually, like, sex positive, who's like, you do you, I do me. I'm not offending anybody. I'm not hurting anybody. They just see me as like, oh yeah, this girl is probably fucking with everybody. She's dating everybody. She's like on a rotation. No, I'm abstinent. The fact that I'm talking about it does not mean that I'm doing it all the time. But they have that perception that I will, and I'm doing it just because I'm comfortable talking about it. I'm comfortable in my body. I'm comfortable doing it. I'm comfortable talking about it. So and now, people are actually comfortable talking to me about it as well. So, like on my my Freaky Friday on Instagram, the amount of people who's just like bringing to me like some conversation and like they're asking me to educate them about certain things, that's the part that I love. I should have been a sex therapist or something like that. I missed my vacation. However, that's the part I love.
It's never too late.
Not too late. Especially now.
Side job.
You can do it through Zoom.
There you go ahead and plug your Instagram while we're here. You can get some new clients. But I want to quickly ask you a question. So you said a lot of people kind of looked at you and, you know, they perceived you a different way. Were these, I hate to say, was it mostly women or was it mostly men, or a combination of both?
Say combination of both. Women wants to be more comfortable with themselves. So they envy this part of me. I had a lot of women coming at me saying like, yo, I love what you're posting. You open up some conversation with my partners. They can make me see a different side of like certain things. But then you have the man who's like, oh my God, I want to smash her. And I'm like, no, please. Like that does not mean that it's an open window for you. Like it does not mean that. So we have both.
I know, typical men, you know. You see an opportunity, we try to jump right through.
Here's where the conspiracy theory comes in.
Say that again.
Here's where the conspiracy theorist in me comes out. So when we talk about why it seems like the whole idea of polygamy is taboo, if you ask me, and me and Thibaut discussed this a little earlier, is population control. Because at the end of the day, if you're only with one woman, you can only breed that woman basically once a year. Multiple women now, you can have multiple kids
on rotation.
Basically,
over and over, like non-stop.
And as a society who thrives on like being civil, wouldn't you want women to be happy and be with and to be able to be happy with another person, even if they're sharing, so they could have babies if they choose to, have somebody they could come home to. But no,
spend their life with,
but no. Also, based on how the world is going, if you have 3 incomes, let's say it's 2 women and a dude. If you have 3 incomes in a household, that's a lot more money to spend on doing things to help you as a unit.
You can afford a house with enough space that everyone is still, you know,
Comfortable.
Exactly.
And you can still live your lives as you normally do. If you're
You could
stressed
probably
out,
do way more.
You can do a lot. I think you
could
could do a
probably
lot.
do way more.
But that only works, as Frenchie was saying, everyone has to be on the same page in communication. And you got to be open about everything. Like that. And I find it's difficult for, like, people can talk about it and think about it and say, yeah, that sounds good, but to actually live it is a different thing. Because then emotions, I find emotions, get in the way of it too. So
it's no joke.
Yeah, so I find emotions get involved in it, and that that's what stops people from I guess buying into it, is the emotional part of it. Is that I don't want to give my heart to this person knowing that they're doing something with someone else, and I don't know if they love me for real, and it just gets a little confusing for a lot.
Just look at this.
Most people doesn't want to do the work either.
I was just about to say the same thing.
It requires a lot of internal work, because if I know that my partner is going on a date, there's all those feelings, there's jealousy coming in, there's so much things that you need to work on to actually, like, a lot of people were asking me if I get jealous. Obviously I do. It's a feeling, it's a natural feeling. But okay, what this person is triggering in me for me to be jealous and think that she's gonna run with my partners or something like that. There's so much work that you need to do on yourself to be capable of having those difficult conversations or to be content with it, that most people don't want to do that, because it's so simple. You can just be monogamous and you don't have to deal with it, because if they go and they want somebody else, you're just going to cut them off.
Here's what I was going to say. Monogamous relationships, like when they talk about marriages ending at a 50% rate, like you said, it's because a lot of people aren't ready to put in the work that it takes to, like, keep a marriage going, because marriages are hard work. They're really hard work, because, like, the person that you fell in love with and married might change three plus times within the relationship, and it's not like they're changing for for the worst. They're just evolving as a person.
It's true.
So you have to be able to deal with that, and that's just dealing with one person. Now imagine adding a whole nother person into that equation. So you
balance multiple emotions.
At the end of the day, polygamy, having that type of relationship is definitely way harder than maintaining a monogamous relationship.
So it brings us back to the title. Monogamy is selfish. Polygamy is selfless.
Boom.
And I hate to jump in, I think we're running out of time in the meeting, but I just wanted to kind of just close off. Frenchie, do you have any advice? Because I know, people have been reaching out to you through your Instagram posts. I've seen some of the posts. They're a bit, but do you have any advice? On that Instagram feed. If you want to plug it after, you can during whatever.
Please do.
By all means.
I don't even know how to do that. I'm like, you can post it, you can say it. Like, I don't know
how to say it. What's your IG? What's your at?
MIDESSJO. Midesjo.
Instagram.
My advice.
Yeah, advice for any ladies, men thinking of entering this type of situation. Yeah, what is the best way to approach it, and what should they expect before getting into it?
Don't do like me. Do your research first. Don't jump and listen to everything by the other partners, like your teacher. Like, just don't take everything for granted. Do your research. Do your research and do the work. Yes, definitely do the research.
Okay. Research is important. Knowledge is power, and
always.
And ask questions too. And definitely, you have people out there who are experienced.
Communication is key.
Ask questions. If you're not sure, it's okay to ask people who know about it. They'll give you the right answers. And I think anyone who's been through it will have your best interest at heart and give you the right information. But like Frenchie said, don't go listening to others who know nothing about it. Don't listen to any judgment. Follow your heart. And if it's something you're truly interested in, by all means, again, research before you enter into that kind of lifestyle. Debo, you have anything that you'd like to add?
I'll just keep
I think Debo's king polygamous.
I'll just keep it simple. Don't be selfish.
There we go.
And all I gotta add is communicate. It's important to communicate. If you ain't communicating, you ain't going nowhere, and it just becomes a lost cause. So if you open your mouth, ask questions, say what you feel, the worst that can happen is someone says, no, I'm not interested. And that's it. You move on with your life.
That means it's not for you.
Exactly. But Frenchie, thank you for joining us. We definitely need to.
It was a pleasure.
You're welcome. We need to do another topic and have you on board. You seem to be the specialist.
You held it down.
Yeah, we'll talk some more. But if there's any other topics that we could think of, we'll definitely have
some sex talks, and you'll be our expert.
Okay, I like that.
Oh, ask the sexpert. We'll have a little
segment.
You know what we'll do? Our next one, we'll have a list of questions for you as men. Questions that we have for women, and you have to truthfully answer if you're up for that.
Would I be cut off guard? Like, would it be like on spot, or would I get the answer, the question first?
What do you feel? How do you want to do that?
No,
I kind of like the reaction of getting the.
Yeah, she said on the spot. She said on the spot. Okay, we'll do on the spot. So we'll come up with some questions, and we'll have a part 2 with our good old friend Frenchie. Thank you again for joining.
It was a pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. 2 Jokes in a Pod. Make sure you follow us, 2 Jokes in a Pod, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, all them good stuff. It's all there. But check us out. We're back, and we'll be doing it a lot bigger and better.
Follow Frenchie too.
Yes, please.
Hit up Frenchie. We're gonna put your IG in the comments. So
thank you.
You can follow her, ask questions. She is the expert.
Don't be selfish.
No, don't be selfish. Be selfless.
I love that.
All right, guys.
Deuces.
Enjoy your evening.
Have a good night.
Take care. Until next time, we out.